proceeding on, that is equality in Indian democracy. Equality in Indian democracy. As I told you already that equality is the soul of democracy, and what is democracy? A government of the people, by the people and for the people, where the power in the hands of the people of a country, then that country is called democratic country. And constitution recognizes every person as equal. Okay, so if inequality continues to exist, our democracy would never flourish and it would fall off very soon. Okay, earlier there were no principles for the inequality and to protect the people from discrimination and their ill treatment. But now there are some schemes, there are some laws which are being enforced by our country, by our government, to maintain their identity, to maintain their dignity. What is dignity? Dignity means self-respect. Dignity means self-respect. So there are some provisions made in our constitution, and these are, you have to listen to them carefully. So first is, every person is equal. Every person is equal before the law. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means every person is equal before the law. It means all have to follow the same rules and regulations made by our government and made by our, there are some fundamental rights, duties, everything is given in our constitution, laws and rules and regulations, and they all have to be followed by everyone. Okay, all people have to follow the same rules. It means every person is equal before the law. We all have to obey the same rules. And second is no one can be discriminated. No one can be discriminated irrespective of their caste, religion, sex, and their creed, race, etc. Clear? Caste, religion, sex, creed, and race. It means not on the basis of their sex, as I mean whether he is male or whether he is female, they all will be given the same rights. They can't be discriminated over any issue. Okay. The next is untouchability. That has been abolished. Abolishment came to an end or destroy kar dena. Okay, so untouchability has been abolished. In earlier time or before, many years ago, untouchability was in vogue. Okay, it means the people who were of lower caste, they were not allowed to touch even the people of the upper caste people. Okay, they were not allowed to touch even them. They can't go to their houses, they can't go to work in their houses, or we can say they were not allowed to go even some places as well, and they were not being given the same rights as compared as the upper class. So now untouchability has been destroyed. And next is, then fourth is, there are four provisions. So fourth is all persons can go to public places. They can go to public places, whether these are wells, ghats, roads, restaurants and hotels. Okay, they can go to any public place. Now I told you about the some provisions made in our constitution. According to these provisions, the dignity or the identity of the people can be maintained and they can be treated as equal to the others. Then next there are some ways to implement the equality by our government, and what they have which steps have been taken by our government to implement towards equality. Okay, so ways to implement the equality by government. So there are some laws which have been set up, which have been made by our government for the equality of the people. And next is some other government schemes are also started to help disadvantages communities, or we can say the communities. So there are some laws and schemes which have been set up by the government to implement the equality in our whole country. Here are some steps taken by the government. Here are some steps taken by the government to maintain the dignity, to maintain the equality of the people, and to treat equal as others. So here are some steps taken by the government. Now here are some steps taken by our government to make everyone feel equal. So as I told you right now that government has implemented some laws and some schemes to help those communities who are being treated ill. So first of all, there are some laws and schemes have been started, and one main scheme that was started by the government of Tamil Nadu, first of all, that was the introduction of midday meal scheme. So what was the midday meal scheme? As you know, in government schools now there are a number of students, we can see that, but before some years we could see that students are not coming to school. The percentage of the students that much is coming to school, that percentage is coming to school right now, it was less than, the percentage of that time, that was less than today. So the government of Tamil Nadu started a scheme named midday meal scheme. क्या था इस स्कीम में? In this scheme, midday meal, it means one-time meal as lunch, will be provided to the student of the government school, whether they are of any caste, any creed, any race, any religion, whether they are poor or rich. Irrespective of all their things, beyond all these things, they were treated equally. They were treated equal. भले ही वो rich है, poor है, किसी another caste से है, whether he is from any other religion, they all will sit at their one place in the school, and they all will eat the same food, and they all will sit at the same place. They all will be treated equal. So this was the first step, most important step taken by our government for the children. So what happened because of this midday meal scheme? And first of all, Tamil Nadu started this scheme in 2001, and after that this scheme was started in all states within 6 months, because it was that much effective. It was very much effective. That's why it was started in all states within the 6 months. Now it helps reduce the hunger of the children, whether they are poor, उन्हें खाना मिले घर पे या ना मिले, रूखा सूखा मिले, कैसा मिले, but if they are coming to the school, they were getting one time meal, and that meal is of good quality. And next is, children have started, they have begun enrolling and attending the schools. Why? The government was providing their education as well and one time meal as well, and meal of one time as well. That's why they were coming to the school, and along with they were getting the education. Then one another step was taken by the government, that obviously if midday meal is being provided, then there will be some workers also, there should be some workers also to work, to cook food for them. Yes. So what happened? Government decided to appoint Dalit women as the workers to prepare midday meal, who are Dalit of lower caste, so that they can be treated equally. Okay, Dalit women को भी वहां पर अपॉइंट किया जाने लगा to make them feel equal. Clear? Now you know very well that there is a right, a fundamental right named right to equality. When fundamental right is there, then why people are treating lower caste not equally, or why they are treating them unequally? Why? The main reason of the inequality is attitude of the people. Attitude of the people. Now we are talking about some rural and urban areas. We can see the a main difference. We can see the difference between the urban and the rural areas as well. In rural areas, we can obviously notice the students are so conscious, mean उन्हें अपनी कास्ट का कुछ ज्यादा ही है कि हम इस कास्ट से हैं और हम इस कास्ट से हैं. बट if we are going to urban areas, rural area means village type area, and urban areas mean cities. Okay, so if we go in urban areas, then obviously we might see that they might not be thinking about their caste system. All suppose that all people are equal irrespective of their caste, religion, creed and race, and according to their occupation as well, their economic status as well, all are equal. We know, everyone knows this is a fundamental right, but still their attitude holds them up to do this thing or to make them feel equal. Then obviously it will take time to change the attitude of the people of our country. Obviously it will take a long time, but at least we can say that there are some laws and the schemes also being started by our government, by which we can feel them equal, and we can maintain their dignity and identity as well. I hope this is clear to you all. And next we will be talking about inequality related issues in other democracies, mean in other countries. Now our next topic is issues of equality in other democracies. We can't say that the democracy of our country is only the one where inequality is being faced by the people of different caste, different religion and different creed and the different race. There are some other democracies as well where inequality was being faced by the people of those particular countries. So we can say that before 1950 or prior to 1950s, the African Americans were treated extremely unequal in USA, and they were denied equality through laws, and these were there were some laws according to which also they were treated unequally. There is an example which I am sharing with you. So, first of all, African Americans means जो भी अफ्रीका से हैं but वो brought up कभी कहाँ पे अमेरिका में लाए गए हैं. Okay, it means they will be dark in color. Africa people, Africans, they are of black shade. Okay, and whether Americans, they are white. They are known as white people. Okay, so they are living, who are living in America, but they are of a dark shade, and who had brought up from Africa. Okay, so what was the example that how they are being unequal according to through some laws as well in the other countries, in USA as well. So when traveling by bus, they either have to sit on the last seat or at the back of the seat, back of the bus, or they have to get up from their seats whenever a white person wished to visit or he wished to sit at that place. उन्हें वो देनी ही पड़ती थी seat. So obviously this law was made to make them feel unequal. Yes. So after that, what happened? There was a movement started by the people by whom African and Americans, and that was started in the last of 1950s. And what was the incident after that? They thought that they should also they got instigated, and after that they thought about the movement to take their stand. So what happened? Once a Dalit, once African American woman was sitting in the bus. He was coming back to his work. She was very tired, and she was sitting in that bus. And when American or white people came there, a white person wanted to sit at his seat, but he refused. He directly refused that I will not get up. Why? Because she was also tired, and she has also the same or the equal rights to use any public property or use any other property or use public places. Yes, she was also very tired, so she refused to get up. And then this thing, after this thing, they thought that just they should take a stand on this thing, or they should get equal rights. So civil rights movement. So civil right movement. So civil right movements. So a movement that took place in USA in the last 1950s for the equal rights for African Americans to end racial discrimination. That discrimination was racial according to their race, that they are African and they are American, they are belong to different caste, different race, so they should be discriminated. No. Because of that, they thought of the movement which was taken, that was civil right movement, which took place in 1950s by the people of by African Americans to get equal rights for them to end their racial discrimination. So inequality based on caste system, and there are some other inequalities which are based on the religion. These still exist in our country as well, according to their caste system and according to their religion. Caste system, I told you as well about Om Prakash. He belonged to a different caste or the lower caste, and I told you about the religion. That incident was of Ansaris. Okay, so next is Civil Rights Act of 1964. The next, there was an act which was passed in 1964. So, Civil Rights Act that stated that all school would be open to African American children, and no longer they would have to attend the separate schools. It means schools would be opened. According to this act stated that all the school would be open to African and American people, American children, and no longer they would have to attend their separate schools. Why? Because the facilities which were in those separate schools, they were less than the other schools. Okay, so according to this act, all schools would be open to African and American as well. The next is, so we are talking about the equality in this chapter. I told you about that what steps have been taken by our government to maintain the dignity of the people or to treat them equally. The government has passed some laws and schemes. So I told you now there are some issues of inequality in other democracies as well. So now we are coming to the article, which is Article 15, and according to which all people are equal to each other. All people are equal to each other. No one will be discriminated irrespective of their caste, religion, sex, and their place of birth. Clear? So, Article 15 that prohibits the discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, and the place of the birth. And what are the two main things we can say this is Article 15 about? That is in the terms of access, mean where people can go. They can access to any public available, or they can access to shops, restaurant, hotels, and they can go to any public places. They have been given equality to go at every place. They have been given freedom where other people are going, they also can go and they also can enjoy. Okay, so but now there are some challenges of our democracy. So first of all, our democracy that can flourish then only if the people of our country are treated equally. And the reason, and we can say the thing that is required for the growth of a country, that is for the growth of a democracy, that is recognition of all persons as equal and maintain their dignity. Okay, no one should be discriminated. We should maintain their dignity. We should maintain their identity and their self-respect. No one should be discriminated against at any ground. Clear? And this topic is so vast. So about these topics and the other topics as well, the chapter is complete here. And the more you will read or we will discuss in next chapters as well. So this chapter is complete here. Now here are some questions which I am giving you, and you have to write their answers. Okay. So first question is, what does dignity means? What does dignity means? Second is, write a few lines about civil rights movement. Civil rights movement. You have to write a few lines about civil rights movement. Next question is, What did the Civil Rights Act state? What did the Civil Rights Act state? Next, fourth question is, list all the fundamental rights along with their articles in which they have been stated. List all 6 fundamental rights and the articles in which they have been stated. So students, this chapter is complete. I hope this chapter is clear to you all. This is very easy chapter. You just have to listen to this video. You have to watch this video only once carefully. If you are watching it carefully, obviously it will be clear to you all. So see you in next video. Take care and have a nice day. Bye.